Hey, I'm Guy, and that's John.
Yes, it is. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Leave a comment. Also, check the podcast below in the description.
And check out geology.com/ham for 40% off all trial sets and 20% off the new SPF 30 sunscreen.
Keep yourself looking good. Geology.com/ham.
But I texted our buddy Chris Biederman on Friday morning. I'm like, what time is your first Trey Lance video getting posted today? He said 1:05 Pacific. I said, great. I'm keeping an eye out for it. And he posted, just like many other of the people that cover the Niners posted, about a minute video. A Trey Lance out there in a Niner helmet, the black jersey, red number 5. It was a big deal, and the numbers were good. I think Eric Branch said Canton. What was he, 21 of 24 throwing, or 20 of 23?
20 of 24.
20 of 24. It's very good. I remember, didn't David Carr start his career? Didn't David Carr have a game where he completed what was the NFL record? Like 24 straight passes to start a game? Or
I don't remember that, but he definitely opened with the Cowboys, and the Texans beat him.
It wasn't in that game, I don't think. But in any event, we got a taste finally this weekend of Trey Lance as a 49er. So what do we think about what we got?
Yeah. Overall take, anyone just rookie minicamp in general. Football, and you and I have talked a lot about this just over the years, is I can play a real, basketball game 5-on-5 in the off season with my team. Baseball, I can have a even if I don't have guys in the outfield, I can roll in Johnny Cueto or Garrett Cole or Max Scherzer and take like a real live AB. I can just simulate ABs.
Yeah.
In football, you cannot do that even if you have the full team there in shorts and a t-shirt. If you have the full team there, you cannot judge offensive linemen without pads. You can't judge safeties and corners and linebackers. They're not even tackling. It's all two-hand touch. When I read that 22 people attended this practice, there were 4 total offensive linemen, and they were in the corner.
Yeah, not 22 media members attended the practice. 22 participants.
There was not a defensive lineman at the practice. So I'm not trying to poo-poo this. If I would have been there, you would have judged him his physical stature and his arm strength. But you cannot take away a fucking thing from a practice that does not have offensive or defensive linemen, right? I mean, this is basically what college coaches deal with in these 7-on-7 camps. Now, they make offers off it. You can judge just what the guy looks like. Like, the Niners posted a video of Trey Sermon and Trey Lance walking out to practice. You're like, my number one takeaway is I knew Trey Lance was big. Sermon's big. Like, those are 2 big dudes. I mean, that's a big backfield, But what am I supposed to take away? He's accurate? Like, yeah, I mean, he should be. I'm not overreacting to a rookie minicamp that is also just reading a lot of and talking to different people in the league. There are restrictions right now on the amount of people you can have on a tryout basis. So on a normal pre-corona, I would have had an extra 20 guys, maybe not that many, but 10 extra tryout guys just to fill some spots, give Sermon a breather, just have another quarterback there maybe if I want to talk to Trey so I can keep reps going, right? Mm-hmm. You give you options with things. Some just random defensive linemen, maybe do a favor for an agent with some kid he has like from UCLA to ultimately get players in the future, but this guy's not an NFL player, so 20, no offense or defensive lineman. Does that not change a little bit what you think?
Yeah, because one of the things but how about the guys with the brooms, simulating fingertips?
Well, the one thing I read, he dumps it down a lot.
John, you work inside to out. You work short to long. Okay, that's how we're going to work this young career. For me, this stuff is always it's always just fun. If he had thrown, the only way anything he did is a story is if he was like 5 of 24, right, and couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Diamador Lenore made a sweet catch on a pick, but that wasn't.
Was that
I don't know.
PI?
That wasn't really, huh?
Is that PI?
It might have been PI. The receiver definitely was not getting off clean, but whatever. The way I like to run my
to grab with one arm?
The way I like to run my OTAs, John, is you are bulls in the ring, and no one is here to rescue you. So nice catch. But to me, all this, I remember you saying this, and I've seen it too. Like the first day, I don't think is about necessarily anything going great. It's just you're just happy if nothing goes wrong. If a guy doesn't suddenly look smaller next to other pros, which we saw so much at Trey Lance pro day, I don't think we were worried. We saw him in shorts, so we weren't worried about it. He runs out, and all of a sudden his legs look skinny. I think that's it. The only thing that I would think about, other than the thing that I've enjoyed since I was a kid, which is just seeing new players in new uniforms, it's one of the simplest joys in sports to me. It's why I hate when you Photoshop guys in a uniform before they've actually put the, like, draft days in a uniform. I mean, it's cool. But to me, it takes away some of the joy of actually seeing it for the first time, which I just think it's a basic thing that's cool. And I think it's a basic thing that's cool. The only thing that could have come out was it solid? Was it fine? Was it relaxed? It should feel like it would feel if he was Jimmy Garoppolo, which is that nothing of particular interest happens because the bar's very low. So that's it. Now that I don't want to poo-poo anybody's excitement about it because I was excited to see him. He looks big, right? He doesn't. These FCS guys that come from this program are not malnourished. They're not underdeveloped physically. Like they step in looking like NFL bodies. We saw it with Carson. So to me, it was just good to see him out there on the field after.
I'm not trying to poo-poo excitement.
I know. I'm just saying after months and months of us talking, it was nice to just see it. We reached kind of a step. Like it was just symbolic, I think.
I guess my overall take, and this will be the same if these mini camps happen. It feels like the veteran one's going to happen, but typically there are 3 or 4 mini camps, so maybe the extra ones are up in the air. I am not going to live and die, and neither should you, with like the completion percentage in practice. I mean, part of it is just every day physically does he look like he belongs once the big guy comes? Like balls are going to get dropped, balls are going to be off. Like I whether it's 20 of 24 or 10 of 24 some days, like the more and more guys come, it's just part of the ebb and flow of practice. That to me is just like we got to the point. I text someone on the Niners staff, 20 of 24, and he's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh, like so it's just." But that's the type of stuff, and it's the world we live in. And again, I'm not once the bullets start flying, like I wouldn't act like this if it in a preseason game. I'd take his number seriously and how it looked. Sure. But in fucking practice, like now there are going to be the Jimmy Garoppolo. Was it 5 straight passes, 5 straight pick sixes? Was that? Am I remembering that correctly? Something like that. Do you remember a moment?
God, that sounds.
Wasn't there?
Right. Yeah, that's
maybe it was 3 or 4. Like yeah, there is a level of you do something. It's like okay, this is alarming, but like. Throw a pick. Like, yeah, dudes throw picks in practice. Sometimes it's just you are running a play and you're going to that guy. We want to see it work against this look, and just you have to throw it to them. So it's just one of those things that it's going to be a huge thing, though, guy. I mean, the hype on this guy, it's not – if we're getting 20 or 24 numbers from fucking rookie mini camps with 22 people, what happens when the whole group shows up? His numbers are not going away. The hype is not going to stop flowing down, the mountain, the avalanche of just Trey Lance, which is cool. I'm not opposed to that. Just I do think you got to be careful what you make what is something and what's not. I'm not saying anyone's making anything of this. Besides, like he looked good. It's what he should have looked.
Yeah.
But he looked good. You mean in 22 people? I hope he's the best player. He's a 3rd overall pick.
I'll give you a take, John. I do think it is the fact that there was nothing to really see. Highlights one of the things that's not a question with him that is usually a question with guys. If he had come from a program like Goff did where he never took a snap under center, I think one of the questions out of his first practice would have been, did he take any snaps directly from center? How did he handle the snap? But I've seen him do it in college, so it's not really a question. That is all those guys we have that question about, right?
Yes.
Every guy, like all these guys come in, they haven't taken snaps under center. No one goes like, I wonder if he's going to be a good pro day one. But we do ask, how are they going to look taking snaps from under center? And no one was really asking that question with him because we've seen it. We've seen him do it in games. Not really a thing. So I guess maybe that's the piece of news. That with him, you actually don't have the question that we will have, especially the further and further we go down the road of college football about a lot of quarterbacks. Now,
here is something that, to me, I would put substance behind. More than the completion percentage on plays. Now, I guess that would matter is what are the rep counts? Like when him and Jimmy get to rookie minicamp or definitely training camp, are they splitting reps? Is one guy going 90-10? Are they going 70-30? Like that to me is a fascinating number and something to like anticipate once we get to that moment. To me, the rep count is infinitely more important at a veteran minicamp than any completion percentage. Would you agree there?
At a veteran minicamp, yeah.
Yeah, like once the entire team shows up, like who's repping with who?
Right.
Because like is Trey Lance throwing to guys we've never heard of and Jimmy gets to throw to all the other guys? Or do they let him get a series every 2 series with the starters? I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Do you
Again,
think
this guy went 3rd overall.
Do you expect him to start second? Getting the second most reps? More reps than Nate Sudfeld?
Yeah.
Josh Rosen, that video you sent me today, Josh Rosen, I'd never seen that before.
Kind of sad.
Of Rosen telling I don't know, Steve Keim or the owner, we're going to Super Bowls.
I think Trey Lance is repping with the 2s.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he just doesn't know the plays, and that clearly doesn't look to be a problem.
Well, once you get everybody there will just be more things to watch. How him interacting with other players, Kyle pulling him aside, a receiver saying something to him, an offensive lineman saying something to him. What was the clip? The Chargers Hard Knocks, remember, I think one of the things I was disappointed in that Hard Knocks was that there wasn't a ton of Herbert. Just hearing Herbert, watching Herbert. But there was an early moment, one of the offensive linemen.
It was like, I thought it was like Chris Harris on the sideline, like, whoa, he ripped it. Gus Bradley was like, damn.
Yeah, there was definitely that. I remember there was a moment an offensive lineman said something to him, which was different than what you just said, but you're right. The Chris Harris moment was also significant. Now, we're not going to be getting that necessarily, but you might be getting quotes from other players, right? Veteran players. It's one thing if Trey Sermon says he looks sweet, but it's another thing when George Kittle says it.